Okay, so great to be here.
Good to be back.
Absolutely, and we're looking to do a video series all around COVID catalyst for change. And actually, in this series, we'll be talking around the road from employed to self-employed. And I'm here with Anne, and after all this time, being back at Meet by the Park, great to be here.
It's definitely great to be back in person, sitting here without masks and
Yes.
chewing the fat with you, Luke. Yeah.
No,
Sure.
absolutely. And then just to kind of introduce myself to people that are watching. So I've been employed, albeit until recently, for the last 10 years, made the transition to running my own business and going self-employed effectively. And Anne, do you want to briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Anne Wilkinson. I'm a business executive and career coach. So Luke and I met a year and a half ago.
About
We've been
that,
doing something like that. It was here at Meet by the Park our first time.
It was, yeah.
And here we are now, thanks to this COVID journey that we've been on, doing something a little bit different.
Absolutely. So I think let's kick things off and let's take us on a journey.
Great. So I think where we're going to start is you're going to share a little bit about your journey, Luke, aren't you? Because now you're in your business, but for the benefit of anybody that's watching this video, why did you make that? Why did you take that leap? What was it that you wanted from that leap to self-employment?
Well, as you know, obviously for our kind of working relationship for the last year and a half, it's quite interesting actually in a short time frame how much this thing has changed. But really, the why for me was all around lifestyle change massively. In terms of what I do, it's very much around marketing. I saw the potential to be able to do my own thing, but also being able to not be any location specific per se. So it meant that for me, if I'm running my own thing, it doesn't matter where I am, and it gives a lot more greener, much more value to my life. And I think working in various different places, always found that the fun part of getting the job was getting it, and then the second fun part was leaving it.
Bye.
Bye. For me, it's definitely about having my own thing, my own baby to be able to manage and create, and definitely to have that freedom lifestyle for sure.
Yeah. Now I recall obviously that it wasn't a quick decision, was it, Luke?
No.
It took you a while, to finally kind of really make that leap. So what was going on in between, if you like, the idea and what kept pulling you back into employment? What was going on for you?
Wow, it's kind of a loaded question that, but to kind of break it down it's into different fears really. I definitely think that at the start, I've been wanting to do this, as you know, for the last 5 years quite easily, but finding the time to actually have that strategic thinking, to have that creative thinking, to put something together, it was only ever really an idea. So actually having the time was definitely a key challenge. But as I was then progressing, obviously working with you, what I found it was then more confidence aspect of it. Can I actually do something on my own? Having a monthly salary is like a drug every month. So
it's a poverty drug.
Well, that's it. But having that constant reassurance of money coming in was very difficult to go. Actually, don't move too quickly on this. And it was, I think it's just a very, very interesting challenge, because then it was also around the money side of it. And I think for me, that's where it always came back to. Am I going to be able to bring in enough money? But also then feeling slightly guilty at the same time. So a lot of mixed fears in there for sure. And definitely around the whole conditioning aspect of being employed, transferring over that. So there's a lot going on for sure, and I would definitely say, as the title of this series suggests, COVID definitely was a catalyst for change.
Catalyst for change.
Yeah, just briefly going on a on a story. I mean, going back 12 months, I was employed, then I went to furlough, then made redundant, then started off this side business, and then left, and then found another job that was full-time. So as you see, the confidence thing of going back to that full-time job, it didn't escape as soon as I got made redundant the first time. I actually found a job and thought, fantastic, I could do this on the side. But what I didn't realise, I never had the confidence in myself to just go on and do my own thing. And it wasn't until, obviously, throughout my previous job where I was thinking, well, this has really made it true now, and actually I definitely want to do my own thing, and that's where I kind of jumped with both feet, and here I am now.
Yeah. Well, now you are firmly in your own business. So obviously there was excuse me, there was a point of decision where you could have continued, obviously, to go and get another job. But there was this point where, was it the belief? Did you believe in yourself enough to do it? Or was it a point of, I'm not going to go back there and do it, I'm going to try it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to commit to it, and learn and commit to it through experience rather than just this idea in my head? What was the difference that made the difference at the end?
I think, and it's true, I've seen this in lots of big players in various different industries. I think you have to reach a certain rock bottom or go through a certain experience where it kind of goes, well, actually now, I'm doing this now. And before I was probably playing at it a little bit, dipping my toe in the water, thinking this is what I want to do. But because I'm so used to having that monthly salary, it was very difficult to, because I'm comfortable, very much in the comfort zone. And all of a sudden then, COVID came around, on furlough, made redundant. Now what am I going to do? And I started doing a couple of other things, and then I realised actually having this consultancy agency, demand generation agency, is something that I'm really, really good at.
Yeah.
And I saw the vision then. I saw where I could take it. But I definitely feel before COVID, it was just an idea, a pipe dream, something I wanted to do, but there wasn't anything that was happening that was forcing me to do it. So it was a force of fear, maybe. It was like it's kind of a mixture of fear, but actually, you're in survival mode almost. It's like you've been made redundant, you need to go and find something else now. And I saw actually doing my own business as a safer bet than going for another job, especially in the times of COVID, because single point of failure, working for one company, they don't want you anymore, they don't need you, goodbye. Whereas if you've got multiple clients, if one client leaves, you've got several other clients that can keep you going throughout the month.
Yeah. So now you've done it. Now you're experiencing, phenomenal growth. So it's a success story. So what was it when you, having made the decision? What new challenges did you face in your business, if you like, that weren't the same? That weren't the same as before? What came up new for you?
So really deep ones actually. So it was definitely around the thinking of it, realising that I don't need to twiddle my thumbs at a desk job until 5:30 if there's no work coming through. I know that sounds bad, but I know a lot of people do that. But like things like, for instance, I've got 2 meetings in for one day, right? And then just going on the computer and keeping on there for the sake of it, it's almost like a conditioning that I needed to be at my desk, chained to your desk. And it's only until I would say in the last month or so where I've realised actually, no, I'm now mapping out my ideal day and what I like to do and bringing that value back into my life, which before was around flexibility. So I think definitely one of the main things was around feeling guilty. Especially with like learning things from your close friends and how they're doing it. Most of them are employed. My father, he's self-employed, so I got that kind of that early feeling of wanting to do my own thing through him. But still, a lot of people say, "Oh no, you need to get a job, you need to get security," and that's all very well and good. But you can get that doing your own thing if you believe in yourself.
That's the key, isn't it?
That's the
self-belief. Key. And also the commitment, isn't it? It's like, nothing I think quite often, we get stuck in our head as this idea, that's this got the desire, but without the action, actually nothing happens. And the action, creates an entirely new experience. Good, and also new challenges, of course, and it's important to recognise that.
Something you just said around action, this is something that I always remember now, and I still get fearful thinking now. I get anxious, sometimes I have sleepless nights, not necessarily, I wouldn't say I need to have them, but you just naturally have them as a human being. And I do think like anxiety around, are you going to get enough money coming through, or, are you keeping the clients happy and stuff like that? Action trumps that every single time. What can I do about it now, right now, that will alleviate that pressure? And I think that's also really important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, fear is such a such a powerful force in the world generally. And none more so when it's wrapped around money and security. And there's those two kind of values, isn't it? Because really you wanted freedom, you wanted the freedom to be able to choose your day, but you also wanted the security, in other words, so that's where that conflict comes in. Obviously not just with you, Luke, it happened to me when I made that decision 20 years ago now. I went through many of the things in my own way that you went through now. So, as long as you're a human being, it's almost like a rite of passage, I think. So all of our journeys will be, particular to us.
Yeah.
But there is a kind of the archetypal journey, if you like, and it's not just the action, it's the mindset that needs to travel and adapt and change with it. And I think that's what you're describing. You had to change from the inside, not just change the external day that you had, but actually had to dump some of the stuff that no longer fitted in your role as the founder of your own company. It's a new world, isn't it?
It is, and I would say in terms of the things, breaking that down in terms of self-belief, what that actually means is courage and time. Because there is a period where actually you don't feel in control, and you need the courage to keep going. And it's the keep going bit that eventually gets better. Yeah. Because at a certain time, as long as you create action, you have the courage, and you allow, time's a great healer, which in a sense it is healing something there, healing that security of a full-time job, right? But it gets to a certain point where the time, you've hit that first month and you're still around, you're not you're not out on the street, beggars belief, something like that, right? And you actually then start to have more confidence. It's courage plus time equals confidence. And that's certainly what I found for myself anyway.
Yeah. So, where are you now in the business? Are you, if you were, you've made the decision, you're in the business, you're learning pretty much daily, aren't you? And you're growing and you're dealing with all that. So, for anybody that is still at that place of I'd like to, but I'm not sure about it, and they're facing those fears of security. Am I good enough? What would I do if I fail? All that. What would you say to them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would definitely say action trumps a lot of things. I've spoken to a few people that are going for a similar transition stage from wanting to go and do their own thing. But I would say actually writing it down, make it real, talk to people about, once you've made up your own mind, actually set a date. That's very powerful. Yeah. Say, right, this time, this day, this month, this is when I'm going to...
By this time, I'm going to be in a different situation.
And prove it to yourself. I think it's important. I had the advantage of COVID. That sounds strange, but I had the advantage of that being able to push me. And I think it's to have that feeling, have a similar feeling, because it can be difficult, because what you're saying is you want to impact a negative experience on yourself, and I don't think you need to do that, but I think getting out of your comfort zone, doing something that challenges you, will help you to build that momentum of thinking, even if it's going skydiving, bungee jumping, something that would be completely against your own belief. Prove it to yourself that you have the courage to do that, and then your thinking and your momentum of thinking will get you to a place where you will actually go, you know what, I've done this thing, and now I'm going to do it. But also, 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right, I'm going to do a plan now. It's about creating action and having that self-belief in doing it before anything else. you know, and then you have new problems, you know, like growing the business and all these lovely other things that you have to take into consideration. So, but it's that first step that's really important.
Yeah, but a very new kind of day for you, and I imagine much more fulfilling, happy,
Definitely.
worth it.
Yeah, I think something that in the last month I've now set my typical day of, you know, what that consists of. Looking after myself, and whether that's going to the gym,
Going to
out
the
for a
gym
walk.
without guilt.
That's it, yeah. And then being able to do that at times when it's not busy in the gym. Small things, but those little
Yeah.
details make you feel like, well, actually, I'm controlling my life. Life isn't controlling me. But the other thing I would definitely say is never, I know everyone says it, but never stop learning. Make sure you devote applied learning every day. So what I mean by that is read the book, but make notes what you're going to take from it. Don't just read the book and forget about it, or
Yeah.
watch the YouTube
Do
video.
something with it.
Do something
apply
with
the
it,
learning,
and
is
do
what
that
you're
at
saying.
least once a day.
Yeah.
Always try to do it as much as possible, because you'll get left behind quite quickly.
Yeah.
And just in the last 12 months, like where we were 12 months, where I was 12 months ago compared to now, completely different shit.
It's a whole new world, isn't it? And I mean, obviously, your company Leading Success is going from strength to strength, and you know you are pushing the envelope, aren't you? You know, in that area of marketing and you know the use of really current and future tools. You know, so you're always ahead of the game and pushing it, which is obviously great. Which is great for me to work with, obviously someone like you. I think from my own perspective, what I would say is, you know, that journey, you know, from idea and desire, you know, through those fears, etc., to doing something. For any of you that are interested, I'd definitely say, you know, book a discovery call if you want to try it. Just have a free discovery call to chat about your idea, because that's where it started with you, Luke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's just, is it possible, and how committed are you? And that's obviously something that I can help with. It might just be your first small step, you know, on a lovely, successful journey.
No, definitely, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think just kind of to end on that, it holds you to a sense of accountability. And also, if you want to, you can employ them as your phantom boss to keep you, you know, in the right direction.
Phantom boss, I like
Yeah.
that. Sounds very exciting.
It does.
Phantom
Yeah, I think
boss?
it's good. I think it's you know, if you know that you need to show someone something.
Check that domain name, phantomboss.com.
There you go. There's maybe
It's
a new
me.
one for you. But no,
Brilliant.
it's been great talking with you, Anne, for
You
sure.
too.
Like
It's been
always.
great fun. Hope
And,
you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening in. There'll be a few more of these videos
Yeah,
in the
another one
future.
coming.
So yeah, look forward to it. See you in the next one.